Good morning. Let's start the topic of the day.
ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି କହିଲି ଆମର ସେଇଟା ହେଲେ ଯେଉଁ କ୍ୟାମେରା ଫ୍ୟାମେରା ଲାଗିବ କଭରେଜଟା ହେଇଯିବ ଏଇଥିରୁ ଗୋଟେ ରୁମ୍ ସେଇଟା ୟୁଜ୍ କରିଦେବା ୱେଟିଂ ଯେମିତି ଆନ୍ଥର କରିଥିଲେ ପାହାଡ଼ କରୁଛେ
ବହୁତ ଗହଳି ହବ ବହୁତ ସାରା ପିଲା ଦୁଇଟା ପଢୁଥିଲେ ବହୁତ ପିଲା ଆସିବେ
42-44 କହୁଥିଲି
ଜାଗା
ଟିକେ ଫ୍ରି
The first topic that will take is regarding environment and Salabar. Okay. So the topic is the conflict behind eco-sensitive zones. Okay. Ecologically sensitive zones are intended to safeguard protected areas, national park and wildlife sanctuaries by transitioning from an area of lower protection to an area of higher protection. However, the creation of these zones has provoked protest in Kerala and some other regions. It is a precursor to what is likely to emerge in the other parts of the country. But these protected area covers 5.26% of the India's land area, as 108 national park and 564 wildlife sanctuaries, which are notified under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So they have been protected notified under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Protected area do away with even those activity permitted in reserve forest. The right of the forest dependent community are extinguished. What happened here? The rights of the forest dependent community are extinguished unless specially allowed. So no human interference is allowed inside the protected areas. That is what is clear from here. But so no human activity is generally permitted in the protected areas. Okay. Okay. Coming to the detail of this particular topic. However, their right negative forest conservation model have come under repeated criticism from conservation scientists, bringing the scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers Act 2006, which is also known as the Forest Right Act. FRA recognizes the customary and traditional rights of the forest dwellers on forest land, including protected area. The Forest Right Act, passed by the Parliament, which came into operation in 2006, recognized the right of the forest dwellers, and that is even spread over the protected areas. How is FRA being implemented? By bringing the FRA or Forest Right Act, lawmakers were trying to undo a historic injustice done to the forest dwelling community in India. Passing the Forest Right Act, okay, a big injustice done to the forest inhabitants, okay, was planned to be changed. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change reckoned in 2009 itself that doing so would mean handing over at least 4 lakh square kilometer to the village level institutions. But as of June 2022, only 64,873 square kilometer, only 16%, has come under the Forest Right Act. The actual area is likely smaller, as some area have been counted multiple times for different rights. However, This has been achieved in only a decade and a half compared to no improvement in the 6 decades before. Okay. This is attributed to the Gram Sabha, which took over the power to determine right through open democratic process from government officials. These Gram Sabha are now the statutory authorities empowered to conserve, protect and manage forest, wildlife and biodiversity lying within the traditional village boundaries. These areas under Gram Sabha are to be new category of forest called community forest resources. Gram Sabha have to integrate their CFR conservation and management plan to the working plan of the forest department with the required modifications. Okay, this is regarding the Forest Right Act. What is the ecologically sensitive zones? Surrounding protected area in a region of more than 1,11,000 square kilometer, 3.4% of the country's land, which falls under the ecologically sensitive zone region. Governments have notified 341 ESZ ecologically sensitive zones in 29 states and 5 union territories. While another 85 SEZs are waiting notification. Together, protected area and ESZ cover 8.66% of the India's total land area. The ESZ span notified forest outside protected area, most of which could also come under Gram Sabha jurisdictions under the Forest Right Act. The extent of ecological sensitive zones from the boundary of the protected area range from 0 to as much as 45.82 kilometers. Okay, in the Pin Valley National Park, Himachal Pradesh, 15 states have ESZ exceeding 10 kilometers. Okay, small from okay, so it is what is the problem? Significantly, part of the ESZ in 10 states Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan, and Telangana fall within the scheduled area notified under the 5th schedule of the Constitution. Such scheduled area cover 11% of the country's land area and are thickly forested and mountainous. They are preponderantly populated by scheduled tribe groups and are notified by the President under the Article 244 and the provisions of the Panchayat Extension of Scheduled Area Act 1996 apply. The PESA recognizes habitation level Gram Sabha to be competent to safeguard and preserve community resources on forest and revenue lands in scheduled areas. Such scheduled area, okay, cover over 11% of the country's land area and are thickly forested and mountainous. They are preponderantly populated as scheduled tribe group and are notified by the President under Article 244 by the provisions of the Panchayat Extension of Scheduled Area Act or PESA Act 1996 apply. The PESA recognizes habitation level Gram Sabha to be competent to safeguard and preserve community resources on forest and revenue lands in the scheduled areas. However, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has shown no inclination to amend the Indian Forest Act 1927, the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, and the Environment Protection Act 1986 to comply with the PESA or the Forest Right Act. In fact, the forest conservation rules compliance with the Forest Right Act, recognition of the forest rights and the Gram Sabha's consent were preconditions for considering proposal to divert forest land for non-forestry purpose until the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change did away with them in 2022. The ministry has also overlooked demand by the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes to restore the erstwhile FRA compliance procedure. Okay, this is the present status. Exactly, the ESZ implemented the 2002 Wildlife Conservation Strategy envisaged lands within 10 km of the boundary of the protected area to be notified as ecologically fragile zones under the Section 3(2)(b) of the Environment Protection Act 1986 and its rules. The Minister of Environment and Climate Change was to take steps to protect the environment by regulating and, if required, prohibiting industries, operations, and processes. Rule 5(1) BIE provided for environmentally compatible land use in area around protected areas. In 2005, National Board of Wildlife decided to delineate site-specific ESZs to regulate specific activities instead of prohibiting them. So, regulate specific activity, not to completely prohibit human activity inside the protected area. Therefore, in May 2005, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change asked the state and Union Territory to propose the environmentally sensitive zones. Any notification? Okay, in this light. Next is a topic on science and technology. Viral nutrition. New study reveals microbes nourished by consuming virus. Researchers at the University of Nebraska Lincoln reported that a particular genus of plankton, namely Halteria, can grow and divide, giving only viruses to eat. This could be significant for the marine food chain. At various peaks of the COVID-19 pandemic, viruses have had a reputation as destroyer of public health system and human lives. They have a peculiar biology. While inert outside, living body inside, they hijack the cellular machinery to feed, duplicate, and spread. This association with the disease and death has come to define their form in the public imagination, redeemed not even by the fact that there are other microbes that destroy viruses, but a new study published in December 2020 by researchers at the University of Nebraska Lincoln after to opened this. But it has told the authors of the study have reported that a particular genus of plankton can consume viruses as well as grow and divide, giving only viruses to eat. It is already known that there are cells that can consume viruses in an effort to destroy them, such as the microphagous cell of the human immune system. The difference lies in being able to eat viruses to fulfill one's biological imperatives. Plankton of the genus Halteria, they claim to have found, can each consume 10,000 to million virus particles a day, increase their population using the metabolized energy, and provide more food for the zooplanktons that consume the Halteria. This could be significant for the marine food chain. Fine. What are planktons? Planktons are microscopic organisms that can only move with a current. They do not have any facility to actively propel themselves. Halteria planktons are ciliates, meaning they have their hair-like structures called cilia on their surface. Sometimes they can beat some of these cilia to jump short distances, but not often as it requires too much of energy. A type of plankton, the phytoplankton, is found nearest to the surface of many water bodies. It is an autotroph, which means it can make its own food by consuming carbon dioxide. Among other compounds, through photosynthesis, small fish and larger planktons called zooplanktons eat phytoplankton for their nutrition. They are in turn eaten by larger fish and so forth. This is the structure, hair-like structure around. When phytoplankton die, they die around where they are, becoming part of a coastal nutritional cycle, or they drift down towards the seafloor where they decompose. Their constituents then become available for microbes or are sweated into the seafloor. So phytoplanktons bring carbon and other nutrients from the atmosphere and sea surface down to the seafloor and help replenish the food chain and also trap carbon into their own bodies as a sediments. They are joined by bacteria that make their own food by oxidizing sulfurs, iron and hydrogen in a process called chemosynthesis. Okay. The role of Halteria. Halteria plankton are found in large number in the freshwater bodies. They are heterotrophs, meaning they cannot produce their own food. Instead, they are well-known bacterivorous. They consume bacteria to power themselves. In the words of a noted 1999 paper, viruses short-circuit the process of nutrient moving off and the food chain. They infect and kill both bacteria and plankton, releasing organic matter that dissolves in the water. Note that scientists have modeled this viral shunt and studied it in the lab. Investigations of its real world impact are ongoing. In the new study paper, the authors wrote that by also consuming viruses for nutrition, Halteria plankton can recover nutrients lost in the viral shunt and bring them back into the food chain. This flow could depend on virion size and nutritional content, which varies among strains they are dead. but it is already clear that viruses of a wide range of size can be taken up. Redemption of viruses. Viruses are the single most populous life form on Earth. Their cumulative biomass outweighed that of human by a factor of 10,010. In 2020, Suttle, a co-author of this 1999 paper, called them as fantastic nutritional sources. The finding was not unexpected. In 2020, a group from US and Spain published a paper after 10 years of data taking and study, positioning that some protist eukaryotes that are not plants, animals, or fungi. Eukaryotes are organisms whose cells are nuclei, might be munching over viruses. Their findings indicate that the viral shunt is complemented by a viral link in the marine microbial food web. That means there's someone who can eat the virus. The new study, the researchers found that Alteria plankton reduced the population of the uh, chloroviruses fit to them while growing their own numbers. Whereas Parmasium ciliates consume the chlorovirus but did not proliferate. That is to quote some from the paper, not all the ciliates can grow on chloroviruses in these conditions, even when they consume them. Second, are the population of the viruses and Halteria change over the course of their interaction? The researchers use a modeling tools to understand if they fit what we already know about predator-prey interaction in the wild. The model indicated that they did uh, biologist and the lead researcher have to go and find out if this is true in nature, and they do not yet know how bacteria feeding on virus could have affected the viral infection, because if someone is able to eat the virus, then there is a new research can find way out to control the viruses. Fine. The next news is about the UNSC sanction committee. Recently, the United Nations Security Council Sanction Committee finally added Abdul Rahman Maki to its sanction list after the China lifted the hold. The sanction committee said that Maki held a leadership position within LET and the Lashkar-e-Toiba JOD. Okay. So LET was involved in covenant attack. The list includes 7 such attacks: the Red Fort attack by 6 LET terrorists, the CRPF camp attack at Rampur, the Chirijab attack in Mumbai, CRPF camp attack in Srinagar, Baramulla attack killing 3 civilians, killing of Kashmiri-based journalist Jad Buhari in 2018, and Bandipura attack in 2018, in which 4 army soldiers are killed as they foiled a major infiltration bid along the line of control in the Gurez sector of Jammu and Kashmir. The 1216 Sanction Committee is one of the several UN Security Council sanction panels that impose restrictions on those linked to Islamic States and Al Qaeda. It implements international sanctions against terrorists considered as global threat. Okay, the sanction committee. The committee was established in 1999 at the Al Qaeda and Taliban Sanctions Committee under Resolution 1267. Okay, the resolution imposed a limited air embargo and access free on the Taliban, and decided to prepare a regulatory update list of Taliban and Al Qaeda members, centering them, namely Osama bin Laden. Right. A separate committee was later set up on the Taliban. The panel was renamed as Al Qaeda Sanction Committee to focus on Al Qaeda and the Islamic State. The Islamic states of Iraq and the Levant is known as the Daesh in Arabic. The United Nations Security Council adopted another resolution in 2021 reaffirming asset freezes, travel ban, and arms embargo against individuals, groups, and entities subject to sanctions in the consolidated list. In the sanction 1267, Al Qaeda Sanctions Committee comprises 15 members of the Security Council. The current chair is Norway, Trini Hembark, while the two vice chairs are with Russia and United Arab Emirates. What does the sanction mean? A person on this list cannot access fund. So if anyone is imposed with the sanction any okay. So any access to fund is strictly prohibited. Pakistan was on the way on the grey list of the FATF for almost 4 years for its failure to effectively prosecute and convict terrorists on the UNSC list. As it is obliged to do, okay, required to offer additional grant while borrowing from the international donors such as the International Monetary Fund. The international watchdog in this direction. Okay. The next news is regarding the National Commission for Women. National Commission for Women organized an All India Nodal Officers meeting. Okay. Okay. The National Council of Women organized an All India Nodal Officers meeting and on the acid attack, deliberate, discuss and share suggestions to resolve the issue regarding sale and purchase of acid and other corrosive substances, compensation for survivors, treatment and rehabilitation of survivors, among other topics. Because the cases of acid attack is also grown in the country, with stringent provisions, punishment provisions being made, still. Okay. The National Commission of Women is a statutory body generally concerned with advising the government on all policy matters affecting women. They established on 31st January 1992. Okay. And the first chairperson was from Odisha, Mrs. Jayanti Patnaik. Okay. Under the provisions of the Indian Constitution as defined in the 1990 National Commission for Women Act. And the first head or the first chairperson of the commission was Jayanti Patnaik, who is a politician from Odisha and the former Chief Minister, Janarmal Patnaik's wife, Mrs. Jayanti Patnaik. The Indian Constitution does not contain any provisions especially made to favor women. Intrinsically, Article 15.3, Article 14 and Article 12 protect and safeguard women. They are more gender neutral. The objective of the National Commission of Women is to represent the right of the women in India and to provide a voice for their issue and concern. The subject of their campaign have included dowry, politics, religion, equal representation of women in jobs, and the exploitation of women for labor. They have also discussed police abuses against women. The commission shall consist of a chairperson committed to the cause of women to be nominated by the central government. 5 members to be nominated by the federal government from amongst persons of ability, integrity, and standing who have had experience in law, legislation, trade unionism, management of an industry, potential of women's voluntary organization, administration, economic development, health, education, and social welfare. Provided that at least one member each shall be from amongst persons belonging to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, respectively. Composition of the commission. Powers: provide consultation on all major policy matters that affect women, issuing summons for okay. It is the power to make key public record, receiving evidence on affidavits, discovery and production of document, summoning and enforcement. Then function: presentation of reports. Table reports should be submitted to the central government every year, and the commission feel it appropriate. The report upon the functioning or working of the safeguards, investigation and examination. There should be proper investigation and examination made under the constitution and other law. This is related to the protection of the right of women. Review of law. Constantly all law are reviewed and scrutinized, and necessary amendment and alterations are made to meet the needs of the current world. Case of violation. Ensure there is no violation against women and taking due care of such cases. So motor notice. It take care of complaints and also so motor matters about the deprivation of right of women, implementation of law favoring the welfare of women, evaluation, assessing the development and the progress of the women community under the central and state level, special studies and investigations to understand the limitations in the system and curb it with strategic plans and mechanism. Okay, this is about the function of the commission. Then we'll go for the answer. So question, long question answer. Diaspora are recognized as soft power in the realm of foreign policy, strategy, and also as a catalyst of economic development statement regarding the committee. The Sanction Committee of the United Nations Security Council was established under Resolution 1267, which imposed limited sanction on Taliban. The United Nations Security Council has placed Abdul Rahim Maki, the fundraiser and key planner of Pakistan-based terrorist outfit Lashkar-e-Toiba, on its sanction list. The Sanction Committee also oversees the implementation of the sanctions measures and reports annually to the Security Council on the implementation of these. So all of the three are correct. So the answer will be D. 1, 2, 3. All correct options. It refers to eco-sensitive zones. Which of the following statement is or are correct? Eco-sensitive zones are the area that are declared under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Okay. So this is not okay, correct. The purpose of declaring an eco-sensitive zone is to prohibit all kinds of one activity in those zones except agriculture. No, nothing is agriculture not allowed. So both are incorrect. Neither one, not two. With reference to National Commission for Women, consider the following. National Commission for Women is only recommendatory and has no power to enforce its decisions. The Commission lacks constitutional status and thus has no legal power to summon police officers or witness. Okay. So, so all the three are correct. 1, 2, 3. Okay. A, D the right answer. 1, 2, 3. Nagarjuna Sagar Sri Tiger Reserve, recently seen in news, is located in Andhra Pradesh. With reference to spot-bellied eagle owl, Bubo Nipalensis, which was seen for the first time in the Seshachalam forest, and for the third time in Andhra Pradesh, the following. It is a forest inhabiting species found in the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. The International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) status of this owl is vulnerable. Okay, so in this case only one is right, but two is incorrect. Endangered, not vulnerable. The reference to phytoplankton consider the following statement. It is a great role in making the ocean the largest carbon sink. They are the first trophic level component of aquatic food chain. It uses bioluminescence phenomenon for communication when they have stress in the water body. 6, 1, 2, 3 are correct. The reference to Forest Advisory Committee consider the following. It is a statutory body which was constituted by the Forest Right Act 2006. It comes under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Okay. So in this case, uh, only one is correct, but two is incorrect. With reference to memorandum of procedure, consider the following. It is an agreement between the judiciary and the government which contains a set of guidelines for making appointments to the Supreme Court and the High Court. The Supreme Court of India set a timeline for the center to clear names recommended by the Collegium. Right? Both 1 and 2 are correct for this. With reference to rare earth elements, consider the following category: computational network, communication, clean energy, environmental mitigation, healthcare, national defense. So rare earth elements are used in all of these. Then 10, VIRAASAT initiative often mentioned in news recently as to which of the following ministry. VIRAASAT is the Minister of Textile. Okay, those traditional craft are to be developed among the weavers. That is called the VIRAASAT, because the traditional weavers, they have a much more in-depth knowledge and expertise that need to be developed further by orienting or integrating technology to make the things more better, and also to give better products with quality using technology in large scale to the people. So this program is in the Minister Textile. Right?